Hi, friends. I'd like you to get your notebooks out and take some notes on the SORRR method. That is the subject, opinion, reason method for developing a thesis. So at any time when you want to replay this video, just stop it, pause it, rewind it, check out what I said, make sure you understand it, because tomorrow when I see you in class, we're going to go over this and I'll ask you some questions, check for understanding and all. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, so when you're writing a thesis, the main thing that you want to know about a thesis statement is that it is a strong statement that contains your subject, your opinion, and maybe three reasons. I teach three reasons because I think it helps us with the 5 or 7 paragraph essay process, but you don't have to have 3 reasons, but I want you to for these purposes. So in class, you're going to be graded on having 3 reasons. So I wrote this one up, and check out and see if you can find what the subject is. Baseball is the great American pastime because it was invented and refined in America. It's one of the few untimed sports, and it involves strategy and tactics that cannot be replaced by sheer athleticism. So, what is this subject? Well, hopefully you got this one. Baseball. It's not baseball is the great American pastime because that's an opinion. That's part of the opinion. It's just baseball. It's all we're talking about. Baseball. What's the thesis of this? Well, it's this whole thing. But what's the subject of this thesis? Baseball. What's the opinion? That it's the great American pastime. That's my opinion, my researched opinion. By the way, I developed my opinion about baseball based on my research. I had an idea, baseball, as a subject. I wanted to find out more about it. I researched it, and I came to the conclusion that it's the great American pastime. That's what my argumentative essay will convince you of, hopefully. And I have some reasons for that. It's invented and refined in America. It's one of the few untimed sports, and it involves strategy and tactics that cannot be replaced by sheer athleticism. I want you to pause the video if you need to right now, and just think about that. Go over it and make sure you understand that before we go on. Okay, did you understand that pretty well? Subject, baseball. Opinion, it's great American pastime. Reason, first, second, third. So it's pretty easy, right? You can do this about anything you like. You could talk to your parents about why you should be able to drive the car to Hilo, and the subject, I should be able to drive the car to Hilo. That's your subject and your reason. Driving your car, I should be able to. What are your 3 reasons? I've got my license. I've practiced it with you several times before. And lastly, I'll keep in contact with you. And I'm going to grandma's house so you can check up on me and make sure I got there safely. Okay, those are 3 good reasons for you to be able to drive to Hilo by yourself. Good. All right, let's go on. So we see here, it's the great American pastime, right? So let's see if we can figure something else out here. I want you to know that you should not ever just state the obvious. Please, please, please don't do this. This essay will discuss, or I'm going to write about. If you need to do that in order to start off your own rough draft, that's fine. But the first thing I'm going to do when I see your rough draft is put a line through that part of your paper and just look at what you're going to discuss. So if you say, in this essay, I'm going to discuss how baseball is the great American pastime, then I'll just put baseball is the great American pastime, and I'll scratch out that other part. Just don't announce anything you're going to do. Just do it. I'd like you to review these for just a moment and make sure that you have all of these down in your notes. By the way, it often lists the subtopics. It does list the subtopics. It does not directly announce it, but it contains all the reasons you're going to have for your video or for your paper. So let's practice doing this. Now, I want to show you how I've done this. So I don't expect you to go out there and do any research on these 2 things. I just want to show you how I did it. So here would be the prompt. Write an effective thesis statement addressing the role of sports in our culture. Bam. If you saw that on a test, what you're going to see next is what I would respond, how I would respond, having done some research. Maybe I'd given you 3 articles about sports in our culture, and I ask you to come up with a thesis statement about it. Or write an effective thesis statement addressing the importance of friendship, either one of those things. So let's look at how I put this together. The role of sports in our culture. Sports have too big a role in our culture. First of all, there's the subject. Sports have too big a role in our culture. That's my opinion. Now, I've got that because I did research and says it can be dangerous and leave lasting injuries. Lots of kids have lots of aches and pains when they turn into adults because they did too many things in sports, motivated by who knows what. Secondly, they motivate students in school in the wrong way. And then lastly, they exploit athletes for entertainment purposes. So all 3 of those would be my reasons. And guess what? This would be a body paragraph. This would be a body paragraph, motivate students in school in the wrong way. And this would be a body paragraph. Your thesis is your roadmap to your paper. So you should be able to find out whatever it is you want to about the paper by looking at the thesis statements. When I grade your papers, I'm looking in the introductory paragraph for several things. Hook, we've already talked about. Background information about whatever the subject is. But then in your thesis statement, I ought to be able to circle that thesis statement and see your subject. What's next? Your opinion. And what is your opinion backed up by? Reason, reason, reason. Subject, opinion, reason, reason, reason. Right? Okay. Let's look at something else here. Let's look at the friendship one. Or actually, let's break this down first. So the role in sports, there are my 3 paragraphs. Those are the 3 paragraphs you're going to see. Role of sports in culture. Easily tell me, I could easily tell if I was looking at your paper and this is what it had, what your 3 body paragraphs were going to be about. Verbatim, that means word for word. All right. So let's look at this one. What is the importance of friendship? There's your prompt. Friendship is one of the most important human connections we can develop because it helps us deal with stress. There's a reason. It provides a network of people who help enrich our lives. There's another reason. And it helps us refine our personality and identity. What's the subject? Friendship. What's the opinion? Is one of the most important human connections. So there are our 3 body paragraphs, exactly like that. We don't have to get any fancier than that because what we're doing is we're learning all about the structure, the way to introduce this thing. So I don't want you to get too hung up on trying to make it fancy. I really just want to see you write a good introductory paragraph that tells the reader exactly where we're going in the paper. So, what's the SORRR method? Well, subject, opinion, reason, reason, reason. So, I hope that this has been a good introductory. I hope you look over it again and again. If I ask you any kind of prompt, any kind of question, you should be able to, with just a little bit of effort, come up with a subject, opinion, reason, reason, reason. Again, your subject is going to be inside the prompt. The opinion is your opinion based on your evidence. And your 3 evidences are the reason you have the opinion that you do. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in class.